Hello, my strong friends. We are back with the second video of the Zero to Platform series. Now, last video, I went over deciding on a federation. This week, we will discuss even more choices that you're going to need to make even before you hit submit on your entry form. Now, as a fun little anecdote on submitting entry forms, organizations at the local and national level have really come a long way with getting most of these forms online. I remember just a few years ago having to mail in my entry form. Now, I think most forms are submitted online, like I said, but if you have any fun stories about recently mailing in a form, let me know. I would love to hear it in the comments below. I just remember thinking that was the silliest thing. In this video, we are going to discuss the classes and categories like weight, age, what it means to go full meet versus single lift, and also the very controversial topic of supportive equipment in competitions. Now, one of my favorite things about powerlifting as a sport is that no matter your age, size, or experience, there is a place for everyone. Now, we saw in the first video of this series, my mom has only just competed in her first meet at the young age of 50. So if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button so I know to make more like this, and subscribe to my channel so you can be a strong friend. The first one that's going to be pretty straightforward and hopefully somewhat easy to understand is the discussion of age categories. The IPF breaks down age categories for competitions into the following. We have sub-junior, junior, open, Masters 1, Masters 2, Masters 3, Masters 4, and then you have Grandmasters. Now, the open category is for all lifters who are 14 years old and up. There are some federations like the USAPL, they start their open lifters at 13, but most are either around that, like 13 to 14. The open category is where the majority of these lifters do participate and typically the most competitive, although with that there are plenty of junior or masters lifters that are competitive in both the open and their age subcategory. So a great example of this is Dave Ricks. Although Dave sits in the Masters 2 age classification, he still competes open and ended up placing 6th out of all the open age categories in the 2017 IPF Raw Worlds. There he also hit a Masters World Record deadlift of 672 pounds. Breaking down into age categories allows lifters to sign up for and compete among competitors their age as well as in the open. So for example, if a teenage lifter were to compete, they might want to think about submitting their total among open lifters and junior lifters as well to see how they fare within their own category or if they could qualify for junior specific competitions. It's worth noting that submitting for additional categories typically requires additional fees, so be sure to sign up and pay those extra fees if you register in multiple categories, especially if you're interested in winning subcategory awards and competitions or qualifying for larger junior or masters meets. Powerlifting is a weight class sport, so competitors are divided up into different classes depending on how much they weigh in. A lifter can't compete in any class where they're above maximum weight, and likewise, you can't compete in any class where you don't make the minimum weight. So this allows for lifters to compare their best lifts against competitors with the same or similar amount of body mass. There are even lighter weight classes for youth competitors, so competitors under 14 or 13 in some federations, but those classes are not within the open competition categories. There is at least one instance of a federation other than the IPF breaking away from the typical weight classes we see in this chart. According to SBF record books, they continue women's classes past the 90 plus category, and the super heavyweight class starts at 140 kilos, the same as they do in men's. These weight classes in the IPF weren't always the ones we see today. In November of 2010, the IPF held a restructuring that adjusted all classes and then nullified any previous world records. Most believe that the change is due to advancements in drug testing protocol and implications of stricter drug testing. But this adjustment to weight classes has also been done by the International Weightlifting Federation in 1993 and then again in 1998. Reclassifying these weight classes and establishing a new set of world records allows the federation to essentially create a clean slate of records established under the stricter conditions, which let us make a more fair comparison of lifts. If you're a brand new powerlifter, try not to worry about the weight classes at all, and try not to worry if you don't fit perfectly into one. There's definitely a strategy in filling out your weight class. Know about the weight classes in your federation and understand which one you naturally fall into and plan to compete in that one. For meets that don't require a qualifying total, you'll generally be fine if you sign up for one class and find that you've lost or gained a few pounds on meet day and need to compete in another one. Usually you'll be placed in the class where you weighed in. Check out your specific federation's rulebook. They should have protocol for situations like this, which may involve showing up a little bit earlier to weigh-ins. Powerlifting, by definition, is the sport of the squat, bench, and deadlift. Federations often allow lifters to sign up for deadlift only, bench only, or push-pull. This breakdown is particularly helpful for athletes training through an injury but still looking to compete. Before we end the discussion of powerlifting meets, there are federations that record lifts outside of the squat, bench, and deadlift. Starting Strength, although not technically a federation, often has meets that record the squat, strict overhead press, and deadlift, as many local CrossFit gyms often refer to this as the CrossFit total. Additionally, there are federations that record the strict curl. While a competition of the strict curl might seem strange to brand new powerlifters, it's important to understand that historically, powerlifting has evolved from competitions and exhibitions around the odd lifts, which lump together everything but the traditional weightlifting events, the snatch, clean and press, and the clean and jerk. For most of us, signing up for full power is the way to go, but if you have injuries that prevent you from squatting, know that you can opt to compete with push-pull, deadlift only, or bench only events. Now we can talk about the fun stuff. I assume if you're watching this video, you might be a lifter who's interested in competing in powerlifting, probably for the first time, where most likely you've only been exposed to raw powerlifting in the gym. Mentioned in episode 1 of this series, the fracturing and creation of new federations did originally begin with rules around drug testing and the resistance to that choice. That initial start of segmentation started there, but then continued on with rules around supportive equipment and gear. A part of powerlifting since the mid to late 1960s, the introduction to equipment wasn't as divisive as it is today because it didn't provide nearly the same advantages as it does. It wasn't until the 1970s and 1980s that companies like Titan and Inzer began manufacturing suits and shirts, making them widely available to the powerlifting masses. The first generation of supportive equipment did allow lifters to move more weight, especially in the squat and bench press, but the carryover paled in comparison to what supportive equipment adds today. Early bench shirts may have only added 10 pounds, whereas there are equipped bench pressers today lifting almost 1,100 pounds in bench shirts. And if you compare that to the raw world record of 738 pounds, you can see that there's a huge discrepancy there. As equipment has evolved, federations have had to adapt rules to the technology and trends. So now most federations have a raw division where there's no supportive equipment. We also have raw with wraps, which means no supportive shirts or suits, but lifters can wear knee wraps. Then there's single ply. You can wear a squat suit, knee wraps, bench shirt, deadlift suit, but it can only be made of an elastic-like material and single ply polyester layer. Then there's multiply. The lifter can wear knee wraps, briefs, a squat, bench, and deadlift suit without any limit to the number of layers of material. In 2007 and 2008, United States organizations started first sanctioning raw or unequipped divisions and maintaining records set without the use of that supportive equipment. Before raw powerlifting was introduced, competitors who didn't lift with equipment would compete against equipped lifters at obviously a huge disadvantage. In my opinion, by reducing this equipment barrier to entry, raw powerlifting has done most for the recent popularity of the sport, making it more approachable for athletes to transfer over from CrossFit or weightlifting or bodybuilding or just general gym training. Raw powerlifting has made for a more straightforward concept so that the masses of people can understand after seeing powerlifting on social media. Now, of course, full disclosure, I'm definitely biased in this opinion as I'm a social media converted raw powerlifter who transferred from the sport of CrossFit in a bodybuilding background. There continues to be this emotional debate surrounding the issue of supportive equipment, where some question whether or not supportive gear will ever stop advancing, and then others argue about what it really means to be raw. If this is your first meet, I'd suggest signing up for a raw competition. Even lifters who go on to compete in equipped powerlifting will, for the most part, learn the squat, bench, and deadlift movements without supportive equipment. Finally, I'd like to just emphasize that raw and equipped are both just options. Lifters prefer one over the other, but both are at your disposal. If you're interested in learning more, a few of my favorite lifters who compete in elite level in both raw and equipped powerlifting include Natalie Hansen, Bonica Lau, and Blaine Sumner. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope it helps make powerlifting a little bit more understandable. I do want to thank my company, Strong Friends, who make it possible for me to create videos like this. I offer coaching and programming options, and in celebration of USAPL Nationals, where we have a few lifters coming to compete, including myself, we are putting on sale a new option on our site where it's meet prep. So you get an initial consultation, a full 12-week program or peek into a meet with the purpose of getting you ready for a meet. And then also we offer monthly check-ins so that we're making sure that progress is going well and you have a good idea of what to expect on meet day and attempts plan and an entire game plan. So check that out down in the link below. Join me in competing. It's really fun. I think you're gonna like it. And also we have these cool new pins on the site that you can check out. So they're all on sale for Nationals Week until October 15th. So check those out and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.